As we take a closer look at the Augusta metro area, there you can see that line of thunderstorms moving out of Augusta in the short term, but there is another edge of heavy rain moving into Grovetown and Fort Gordon. A very weak cold front's moving into the area. Right along that front where we're seeing showers and thunderstorms form. As that front drifts to the south tomorrow, we'll have a few more clouds around. Hopefully that'll knock 4 or 5 degrees off the temperature. Now later on tonight, that's when there is a little bit of concern. We just passed high tides. We'll have low tide coming up about 9 o'clock tonight. And then overnight tonight, another high tide, and they are expecting a storm surge here around 5 feet. And that will produce at least a little bit of flooding in some spots here on the island. But other than that, really not much rainfall is expected, as the worst weather is expected to stay up around the Outer Banks. Another rainy day out there, and that means a bad hair day forecast again for Bennettsville and all across the area. As bad as it gets, as a matter of fact. A 1 out of 5 thanks to some heavy rain later today. Maybe some winds up to around 25 miles per hour, but the rest of the week looks a little better. We'll have details on a warmer forecast after the break. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 10 o'clock. It does include Augusta and Aiken down into Waynesboro, as well as up into Washington and Lincoln County. Severe thunderstorm warning for McCormick, Edgefield, and Saluda County until 6, for the Augusta metro area until 5:45, and that brand new warning for Emmanuel County goes until 6:15. Starting off on the chilly side at 36 tomorrow morning. At noon, partly sunny, 57 degrees for the afternoon. Temperatures about like they were today, actually, at about 62 for the high temperature. Tomorrow evening is not going to be as cold as we get tonight. We'll have some clouds moving in, the air mass moderating a little bit. Right now at Television Park, we have 84 degrees. That dew point all the way down into the upper 50s, so it feels good out there tonight. I got a photo a little while ago from my parents that live right there in Cobb County. They've got about an inch of snow on the ground. Those grayer colors, that's where you're having some of the heavier snow, and that's where they are starting to see some accumulation. In our area, mainly rain down to the south, but these heavier patches here that are indicated on the radar, that's where we have some pockets of sleet. The ice has a higher reflectivity and tends to show up like heavy rain. That is some sleet being reported in Barnwell County. Most of the precip still to the south of the Augusta area. And all this snow will eventually work its way to the east over the next few hours. By 8 p.m., a 70% chance of snow. That's when we could start to see some accumulation. By midnight, a 60% chance of snow, 28 degrees. And then overnight, by 2 a.m., I think the snow's starting to taper off some, and it's all gone as we head toward daybreak. Initially, the flakes were very, very small. That's the sign the air's dry and most of it evaporating before it hits the ground. What'll happen is the air will moisten up. These flakes are getting a little bit larger, and they'll probably be $half size flakes before you know it in a couple of hours.
All right, what's the weather this week? It's been all about severe weather and severe thunderstorms, right?
Yeah, we talked about severe thunderstorm warning, but what does that really mean as far as what kind of weather to expect? So our question today, how frequent does lightning have to be in order for a thunderstorm to be severe? Is it A, 5 times a minute, C, 50 times a minute, C, 500 times a minute, or D, lightning is not considered? Down to the south, we have some heavy thunderstorms in Jenkins and Screven County tonight, just to the east of Sylvania, moving into Allendale. Allendale, we'll keep an eye out for flooding for you because this is going to be moving over your area from southwest to northeast, but that tornado watch is in effect for Richmond and Aiken County, as well as Burke and Barnwell County. Starting off cold today, 28 degrees for a morning temperature. By noon, not a whole lot better at 43. For the afternoon, we'll all be hopefully out in the backyard playing football or something with our family, having fun there. It's going to be a cold day to be outside, though, 48 degrees. And this is opening day for the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. If you've ever been to a game here, I know you've seen Dinger and possibly even his younger brother, Deuce. And I happen to have Deuce right here with me. And he always brings the balls out to the dugout. And there you see, he's bringing me the ball. See, I'm not wearing my umpire outfit, but I'm going to take it from him right here, and that's all you do. And if you don't give it back, he doesn't get real happy about that. But see, I take the ball out, I hand it back to him. I don't even have to tell him. He just takes it right back to the dugout, and there he is. That's actually Dinger's younger brother right here, and I'm here with Maggie Neal. At Bushfield, it's already 26 degrees, 36 over at Fort Gordon. A little cooler over in Aiken. You have 30 degrees there and 29 clear skies in Jackson. Yeah, we actually do need the rain. You remember how wet it was this summer. Yeah. We've actually been in a dry spell for the past few months. Take a look at this graphic. June, we got nearly 11 inches of rain, 9 inches in July, another almost 6 inches of rain in August. But since September 1st, the water faucet has turned off, and we only got just more than an inch of rain in September. We'll get a tenth, maybe a quarter inch of rain, and that's going to be about it. Hair day forecast today, as you might expect on a windy and sort of wet day, not real good, a 3 out of 5. Let's take a look at how much rainfall some of our storm spotters have gotten this month. Steve over in Edgefield County, 14.22 inches of rain so far during June. Rick in Grovetown, 12 1/3 inches. Officially at Daniel Field there in Augusta, nearly 13 inches. Very little sunshine out there tomorrow. Here's your Thursday planner. 20% chance of rain in the morning, a few showers, 76 by noon. That rain chance goes up to 60% tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Your travel forecast tomorrow, unless you're headed down to Charleston or Savannah, looking pretty good across Georgia, Carolina. High temperatures across South Carolina will be in the low to mid 80s. Back home here in Augusta, a little warmer, lots of sunshine. Our high tomorrow, about 88 degrees. This one came in from Pete and Appling. I believe this was taken last night as the storm rolled into the area. We got a double rainbow anytime it rains. Sometimes you can have a rainbow. Jill Ehrman had just that in Hepzibah. Thank you, Jill, for that photo. Panoramic picture here. This is pretty cool looking from North Augusta. Thank you, Robert Geiger, for a nice looking photo there. If you'd like to submit your weather photos, you can do that through Facebook, Twitter, or email. We are tracking the tropics. It looks like some more heavy rainfall is headed our way as a system develops in the southern Gulf of Mexico. Hurricane Center says there is a 60% chance this will end up being Tropical Storm Andrea. Here's the computer forecast, all the computer models that the National Weather Service uses to predict where the storm's going to go. This is the forecast center track right across the Georgia coast. And if it does follow that path, it looks like some more fairly heavy rainfall is in our forecast. Starting off at 24 degrees, not too bad for the afternoon. We'll still have lots of sunshine, 57. Headed into the weekend, it gets a little warmer, but not a whole lot. 30 degrees Saturday morning, 58 the high. There's no rain in the forecast until around Monday. A 20% chance with highs by Sunday and Monday in the lower 60s. All right, thanks a lot, Frankie. I'm at the studio in Florence. It started snowing here about 4:15. Best I can tell, there's already about a ½ inch of snow here on the ground. And as you can see here behind me, I've got my weather station here with me. And our temperature, for the time being, still above freezing, right about 33 degrees. Our wind coming in from the northwest. Snow starting to accumulate here just a little bit on the grassy areas. Let's go ahead and take a look at how much accumulation we do expect around the PD as we head through the overnight hours. About 1 to 3 inches of snow likely in Bennettsville. Same thing in Darlington. A little more here in Florence over toward Dillon. 2 up to around 5 inches of snow in some areas. And as you head south into the PD, quite a snow event. That could be where some of the heavier snow is. 2 to even 5 inches in places like Johnsonville up toward Marion. Again, the snow just getting underway. About a ½ inch on the ground now. A few flurries on the Grand Strand from what I hear as well. For more about that and what to expect tonight at the beach, let's go to Lindsay Milburn. Okay. All right, here we are. We are live in Myrtle Beach at the boardwalk. We've been anticipating this moment all morning. That's right, the sunrise. I'm kidding.
Oh, that was wrong. That was wrong.
What's up, man? Price.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to be back.
What do you think of this crowd this morning, dude?
I love this crowd. Everyone.
Got some sort of rotation.
At a cost of $300,000 each, the National Weather Service recently upgraded each of its Doppler radar sites to dual polarization or dual pol radar. This new radar scans the storm in both a horizontal and vertical direction, giving forecasters a more detailed picture of what's going on inside the storm. Traditional Doppler radar only used a single horizontal beam. Having a two-dimensional view allows us to know the size, shape, and consistency of particles inside the storm. This not only helps us see the difference between rain and snow, how heavy the rain is, or the size of the hail, but it can also see tornado debris.
It really won't give us an advance warning of tornadoes over the older radar. What it will do, though, is allow us to see a debris signature, which pretty much confirms that there is a tornado on the ground.
Unless that tornado is in the Augusta area.
The one feature that the tornado debris signatures, those will be dependent on the strength of the storm, and the further away you get from the radar, the less likely they're going to be lifted high up in the atmosphere to detect.
The new dual pol radar can actually detect debris from the tornado as it's thrown up into the sky out to about 70 miles from the radar site. The only trouble is most of us live more than 70 miles away from the nearest dual pol radar, much of the CSRA up to 100 miles away. That leaves much of the CSRA in a bit of a tornado blind spot. And that is especially concerning to emergency responders.
Being able to see the debris ball is tremendous because you know you've got a tornado on the ground. You know debris is not going to show up if there's not a tornado on the ground.
That is a tornado.
The National Weather Service already credits dual-pole radar with saving lives earlier this year in Jackson, Mississippi, when a dual-pole radar detected debris from an EF4 tornado. Knowing they had a large tornado on the ground, the Weather Service, law enforcement, and local media were able to aggressively warn those in its path, and as a result, no one died. Despite this fact, our local Weather Service office in Columbia insists that not being able to detect debris from an incoming tornado is not a safety concern.
It will not allow you to issue a warning for a tornado any better than the existing technology. We usually know well in advance of seeing a debris ball whether we're expecting a tornado to form out of that storm.
However, Camerado does admit that having a dual-pole radar in Augusta would be a nice tool to have in his bag.
The advantage of having the radar close is that it gives you a better estimate of what the velocity fields are closer to the ground.
Since building a dual-pole radar in our area probably won't happen anytime soon, the Weather Service, emergency responders, and local media will have to do the best we can with the tools we have.